80%. This is our 25th year since we took over.
Then we'll find out what people know or don't about the Bay Area's biggest city. From music superstars to how San Jose's Japantown. Good morning and welcome from gorgeous San Jose's Japantown. The weather couldn't be better. The crowd is gorgeous and growing. We're in a historic spot that looks to its history and also its future. I love what one historian said about San Jose's Japantown, which is where we're focusing our entire Fox Local Zip trip this morning. By comparison to San Francisco and Los Angeles' Little Tokyo, San Jose's Japantown is very humble. It is a living community that serves its neighborhood. And that word service combined with neighborhood is what this next hour is going to be all about. We headed way down to the South Bay. We're not too far from San Jose City Hall to help you get here when you want to visit, but my goodness, it's a gorgeous morning. We are going to highlight all the food, the art, the events, and more than anything, the people that make San Jose's Japantown so special.
This place truly is special. It's been under development in some form or another since the late 1800s. Then we had in the 1920s, we had it start to develop again. Of course, we had World War II, the internment, and then things really started to pick up a couple of decades later. This place has really gone through a growth spurt. We're at Roy's Coffee and Tea. This is the corner of Jackson and Fifth. This place used to fuel cars. Right. It was Roy's mobile gas station, and now it's fueling humans. You come get your coffee and your tea here and get ready to go. I've been watching people come in and out. It's a hub of activity all morning long here. Right when it opened, people were coming by, walking the dogs, dropping in, picking up some coffee, tea, latte, whatever you want, and you can get it right here at Roy's. So let's get started. We have our reporters out in the field. Let's start with Sal Castaneda. He's got everything food related. Allie's at the museum. We got Frank here as well. We're going to start though with Sal. Sal, good morning to you.
All right, hey, good morning. You know what? We have the inside look here in Japantown at the Gordon Biersch Brewery. We do have them filling up kegs and filling up cans and getting the trucks out. This brewery works 24/6, and they do have one day off, but most of the time it is humming and hawing. When we come back on the show, we're going to be tasting beer right from one of the huge containers. I don't know what they call it. It looks like a silo of some sort. So Dan Gordon, half of Gordon and Biersch, he's going to be pouring me a nice cold frosty one from there. And we're going to talk more about what it takes to run a place like this. And by the way, it's still here right in the heart of Japantown, not too far from where you guys are. So we'll see you in a little bit, Andre and Garcia.
Sal, I'll take it from here. You know, we're going to be taking you live inside the San Jose Museum, the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. This is a place that's meant to document the history, art, and culture of the community. We'll show you some of the exhibits coming up in the next hour of our zip trip here. We'll talk about the history they're trying to keep alive and why they say it's more important than ever to keep that history alive. And also one of their fundraisers that they're having, a sake fundraiser, later this summer. So we'll be showing you live some of the exhibits, giving you a little bit of a tour, and then speaking with the museum's director about their objectives. But first, I want to send it over to my friend and colleague, Frank Malakote, who, Frank, glad you're back. It's not a zip trip without your trivia.
Well, thank you. It is good to be back live. Anyways, got a new hip, so I'm moving around pretty well now. Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into trivia. Did you know that San Jose was our first capital of the state of California? Now, we know what number 4 was. That was Sacramento. But what were the two cities in between, number 2 and number 3? And if you live up in Solano County, you know what I'm talking about there. A couple of Super Bowl winning head coaches got their start just blocks away at San Jose State. Who were they? And oh, by the way, there was a duo, a folksy duo that had a show on CBS in the late 60s and 70s and were very popular. You know who they are, but did you know they got their start here in San Jose? One played the bass, the other played the guitar. So we will answer those questions, of course, take a deep dive into Japantown coming up shortly in Zip Trip Trivia. But for now, let's send it back to Garcia and Andre. Guys?
Perfect. Frank, thank you so much. You know, we are here at Roy's Station, and when you talk about being from the community and of the community, you have to meet our next guest. We welcome Tamiko Rast, Japantown Business Association president. You grew up here, and by here, I mean like here at Roy's, in the neighborhood. You've never left San Jose, specifically Japantown. What does this neighborhood mean to you?
This is home.
Yeah.
This is every bit of home. I can't imagine being anyplace else because I grew up here. My grandma was born just down the street. My great grandparents immigrated from Japan to be here, and we all came back after the war. So this holds all the memories, the community, our family, and so I love it here.
Tamiko, I know you're part of the San Jose Japantown Business Association, but I'm curious to know the history here. Your grandparents, you said, came back here after the war. How important was this place to, after the war, after all that had happened, to, really feeling at home, building a community here in San Jose?
I think it was because everyone that they went to camp with came back. And from what I found, a lot of the folks from the Central Valley and South County also came here. They found refuge here in San Jose. So I think it was important to keep the community together, all the friends that they grew up with. And it was, the best way to support a community is stay together, and help each other out. So.
And that sometimes happens for survival. But then at what point does the community and does your family realize, wait a minute, we're surviving, now let's bring more people in?
Yes, I think that's, as every family grows and we saw the spirit in welcoming folks. Our families experienced such hardship that I think we could see that in other folks. We didn't want to close the door on any community. We tried to make this the most welcoming place in San Jose.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to us a bit about what you all are doing now as part of the association to market this place, or if you're doing that, to get people to come and visit this area.
Well, fortunately, a lot of the work is being done for us because people have found they're enjoying Japantown just as much as we have, so we don't have to sell our neighborhood nearly as much as we might have had to in prior generations. So we're just trying to make sure the place is clean, welcoming, safe. And that people have something to see when they come here.
When people say it's my first time here, what do they tell you they came down to Japantown?
Yeah.
Is it the farmer's market? Is it a restaurant? What brings people down here for the first time?
A lot of the times it's the manju from Shuedo because it's a delicacy. It's not something you can find anyplace else. So we are very proud of that.
All right.
Okay, tell us about the farmer's market. When that happens and when people can go.
Okay, so our farmers market runs every Sunday from May through October. It's right behind Gordon Biersch Brewery, and we feature up to 35 growers, artisans, bakers, and we have a great DJ, and we just have a fun time.
So it's a party, and you can buy prepared foods there as well. It's not all what my kids call ingredients.
Yes.
Like you can actually.
Oh yeah, you can have your entire meal there. You can start with breakfast, brunch, and then pick up some goodies on the way out.
And you're in charge of it, aren't you?
That is
yes,
correct.
right. So you make sure it's good every
Yes,
time.
I do.
Yeah, pulls
and
so
we're
many
in
people.
strawberry season, right?
We are. We
Ooh.
have some wonderful organic berries from Urana Farms. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm really happy about it.
Tamiko, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having
yes,
me.
and
Thank
sharing your story
you.
with us. We appreciate it. All right, up next, you heard Tamiko mention Gordon Biersch.
Yeah.
I know Gordon Biersch because of the garlic fries in addition to the beer,
Right,
of course, obviously,
right.
but they had some great garlic fries, and I loved going there and having a beer and the garlic fries. Sal is there. We're going to have much more coming up from him. He is there, and believe it or not, the roots of Gordon Biersch here in Japantown in San Jose. Who could believe it? We're going to have much more coming up after the break. You're watching our Zip Trips here to San Jose, Japantown. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Zip Trips here in San Jose. We're in Japantown in downtown San Jose at the corner of Jackson and 5th in front of Roy Station Coffee and Tea Shop. It's got pastries there as well. It is a beautiful day here. We are one of the last 3 historical Japantowns all across the United States. This place started developing or started being settled here back in the late 1800s, but it really started to develop in the 1900s and really is kicking off right now. It's got tons of cool places in addition to this coffee shop. It's got many more places you can visit when you come on down here and check it out.
One of those super cool places was actually suggested to us by a friend of KTVU. Joe McLean wanted to give a shout out to J-Town Clay. It's a ceramic studio not far from here on North 7th. It's a community-based clay studio. This is everyone from beginners to seasoned artists. They can get their hands dirty, create art, feel better while they're doing it. So if you're going to spend the day down here in San Jose's Japantown, you may want to stop by J-Town Clay. They have drop-ins, they have classes, memberships, the whole 9. So if that's not your thing, maybe beer is, right? Let's talk to, and it's so rare. We're going to bring in Sal Castaneda. And Sal, you know, when someone has helped create a business that lives on for generations and the name is their name, it's a very special thing. You're about to talk to Dan Gordon, who is the head of a very famous brewery.
That is right. Gordon Biersch. Dan Gordon is here with me. I feel privileged. I've known this man for more than 30 years. Dan, nice to see you again.
Awesome to be here today.
So Dan and head brewer Katie Held are going to pour me beer from, what do you call that thing up there?
This is a fermenter, and the beer's been aging now for about 5 weeks. It is a 35-foot tall tank, 18,000 gallons, and we're pouring straight from the faucet there.
That's unusual.
It's very difficult to do. Only a trained professional can handle it. Look at this perfect pour. Unfiltered, the yeast is still in suspension, and this beer is actually sold unfiltered with the yeast still in it too. Not quite as cloudy after it ages a little longer, but it is the best way to have it and enjoy it.
That's incredible. I feel VIP already. May I try some?
This is for you, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till Katie has hers. So Gordon Biersch is right here in the middle of Japantown, and you may have heard them. They had restaurants a while ago. They've gone back to concentrating on just making beer, and this factory, is it called a factory? What is it called?
We like to call it a brewery.
Okay. Oh, duh. It's a brewery. So this brewery operates 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. Katie and Dan, let's try this. Oh, that's good. What kind of, is it a Pilsner?
This is our Czech style Pilsner, and it's available throughout the Bay Area in 12-ounce cans and variety packs.
Why did it come out cold? Is that the way it is in the thing?
Yeah, and actually it's going to get even colder. We're going to age this at freezing for another couple weeks at 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's where the yeast will continue to fall out and the beer will mature and ripen. But it's pretty darn good the way it is right now.
So you have San Jose roots. You love Japantown. This is where you grew up. Tell me how special it is to still be here in Japantown.
I came full course around. Born 10 blocks from here. We own the building. It's in the center where I worked in college at the California Canners across the street. Grew up in the peninsula, went to Cal. I'm a hometown baby.
Dan Gordon, Katie Held, and me here at Gordon Biersch. What a great experience to be behind the scenes, Andre and Garcia. Don't worry about your boy. I'm doing just fine.
All right. Sal's never coming back. Thank you so much. I have to say, you know, Dan Gordon is a Renaissance man in many ways. Not a lot of people know that he's an accomplished jazz trombonist.
Wow.
That he plays with groups all around the Bay. Like, he's recorded. He's a legit jazz trombonist, a good artist.
You can find Gordon Biersch all over.
You can.
I am so surprised that I actually get to see him right here in Japantown, in San Jose. It just blows my mind. I learned about it as we were doing the story that we're going to be able to talk to him and go to the original location here. It is just fantastic. You know, the history of Japanese here in the United States filled, you know, with triumphs and tears. One of those, of course, the Japanese internment. I am sad to say, Garcia, until recently was not well known across parts of the country. But that is changing, and people should know about the history of what happened here. We're going to send things over to Ali Rasmus. She is at the Japanese American Museum here in Japantown with much more on the history of Japanese Americans, and particularly those here in San Jose as well. Ali.
Yeah, the history, art, and culture documented, commemorated here at the San Jose, at this museum, the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. And when you walk in, it's about 6,400 square feet. It looks like your typical museum with a lot of historical photos, maps, and artifacts. But I want to take you inside a very unique exhibit here that people who come to this museum can walk into. This is a replica of one of the barracks. This touches on a very sad, dark chapter of U.S. and California history when there were about 120,000 Japanese Americans and American citizens who lived on the West Coast who were forced to live in these internment camps all along the West Coast. And so when they formed this museum, when they started collecting artifacts and started interviewing people to put some of these exhibits together, they talked to some of the people and the survivors who had lived in these internment camps, and they helped put together this replica of the barracks where people had to live. Now, when you walk in, you see the very humble beds, the Army issued bedding. There was no indoor plumbing. They just had buckets and a single stove. And a lot of the details that they put together in putting this barracks and this exhibit together was down to the types of boards they use. You can see there's like a gap between these boards. Well, the people who lived through this said that when they had to live in these internment camps and in these barracks, it was very dusty, it was very windy, it was very shoddily constructed. So they wanted to show and give an idea to people who come into this exhibit what it was really like during that period. Now, this is obviously a very impactful thing when you come in to something like this. It's almost like you're walking onto a stage or movie set. It's so well done and so immersive. This museum, though, does have a lot of things to showcase and remind people of. You know, they say, the museum curators say they really want people, their museum, to facilitate discussions about what it means to be American, civil liberties, race relations, things that are important to discuss and keep top of mind in this day and age that we're living in. So the people at this museum have this overarching goal of really getting out to people and teaching people about the history of the Japanese American community here, but also looking forward. They have some art exhibits, a rotation of art exhibits. They have some early photos and artifacts from when Japanese Americans first came to Santa Clara Valley about a century ago and contributed to the agriculture industry here. So there's a lot to cover, a lot to see in this museum. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll be speaking with the executive director about some of their goals and objectives and an upcoming fundraiser they have, a sake fundraiser later this summer. So a lot more to talk about. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Perfect. Allie, we'll see you in a few. Thank you so much. I can't believe it's not even 9:20. And
I know.
We've had beer from Sal.
So
You've talked about the garlic fries.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and after dinner drinks. They have you covered here in San Jose's Japantown. Up next, I know this is one of your favorite parts of every Zip trip, and I know it's Sal's as well. We're going to taste our way through the town, through the neighborhood, if you will, from just family cuisine that generations of people have enjoyed to things that you can only find fresh, made right here by hand in San Jose's Japantown. If you're curious, if you have a favorite, head on down. Maybe we'll feature it in our next segment here as we taste our way through Japantown. Finally, we took a long haul down to the South Bay today, and you know we love a good road trip. And if you are taking a road trip this summer, we would love to see and hear all about it. If you have a favorite road trip from the past, send us your photos and videos. We would love to share them during the show. For example, Wade from Morgan Hill sent us this photo on his drive to Yosemite. Wow, what a gorgeous sky heading out at Bass Lake. Thank you so much, Wade, for sharing your photos with us. You do the same, scan the QR code, and we'd love to feature your next road trip on our Zip Trip. We'll be back.
Welcome back. Frank Malicote is live for us right now. He is testing the knowledge of those around Japantown to see how much they really know. Good morning to you, Frank.
Hey, good morning, guys. Did you know that San Jose is celebrating a monster birthday this year? 175 years young. Yes, they were incorporated way back in 1850. So as you might imagine, they've got a rich history, too, as well as in the entertainment world. Let's take a look. All the answers, all the questions in this week's Zip Trip Trivia. A folksy musical group that had their own comedy hour back in the 1960s actually got their start right here at San Jose State. Can you name the duo? The Blank Brothers.
Yeah, I have nothing.
The Crazy Cats.
The Crazy Cats. Who are they?
I don't know.
All right. Mom! All right, just be quiet 1 minute. Mom liked you best! You lower your voice.
Mom liked you best.
I was going to say the Mamas and the Papas.
The Mamas and the Papas. It's the same era.
Yeah,
but
brothers.
Brothers.
I want to say Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
But they're not brothers.
Well, they're folksy, though.
And the sign flashed its warning.
The only singer that I knew that went to San Jose State was Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks?
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah.
Still is.
I don't.
And when I started my lightning draw, casual like he lifted a paw, smothered a yawn and gave his lips a lickin', dropped his gun, said, man, I'm chicken.
If you put a pillow over someone, you are trying to blank them.
Smother.
And who are the brothers?
The Smothers Brothers.
That is correct. Well, this plaque right here marks the spot of our first state capital. Yes, San Jose was the capital of California in 1849 to 1851. My question is, which cities were number 2 and number 3 before we landed in Sacramento?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Good guess? Wrong answer.
Oh, okay. Healdsburg.
Healdsburg. Why not?
Oakland.
Oakland. Keep going.
Oh.
What's across the bay from Martinez?
My God, Petaluma. No, not Petaluma.
Petaluma.
Petaluma. Am I right?
No. So number 2 and number 3 cities. And
Burlingame.
Burlingame was the capital. You are not right.
San Mateo.
You are a peninsula gal. One starts with the B, one starts with the V.
Vallejo?
Vallejo! This woman is from Santa Monica. Well done.
And a B. Oh, a B.
Vallejo.
Vallejo and Benicia.
Benicia! Home run! San Jose has the 3rd largest Japantown in the entire country. So what city is number 1 and number 2?
New York City?
New York City. No, they're both on the West Coast.
Yeah, that makes sense, huh? I'll go with Seattle.
Seattle is number 4.
San Francisco.
San Francisco is correct.
Hey.
Look at you.
Yes. And how about you?
I got nothing.
Number 2.
San Diego?
Close.
San Francisco?
San Francisco is number 1. Ding, ding. How about number 2?
An idiot?
Don't look at me.
I'm thinking Los Angeles.
LA. You guys are 2 for 2.
Not Los Angeles?
Yes.
Yes.
LA.
Yeah.
Is number 2.
And San Francisco
Is number 1.
Yay!
You are smoking. San Jose State graduated 2 Super Bowl winning head coaches. Between the 2 of them, they won 4 Super Bowls. And if you need a hint, there you go.
Madden.
John Madden.
No?
No.
Okay.
Good guess, though.
Okay.
He coached the 49ers back in the 80s to their first 3 Super Bowl wins.
Oh, my God.
Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning.
That's the only other name.
He's in the Hall of Fame, but he's not a coach.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Hold on.
You can do it.
Walsh would be one.
Bill Walsh is correct.
Right. And
Andy Reid?
Andy Reid.
No.
That's a good guess.
No, yeah, but it's
but
not
he's still
him.
coaching.
Yeah.
The other has a winery up in Calistoga.
is that right?
Yes. Coached the St. Louis Rams.
Huh.
Dick Vermeil?
I've heard of that guy.
Okay.
Yes.
Those are the correct answers. You had to give that one up. Dick Vermeil's still with us. He's 88. He runs his own vineyard. He grew up in Calistoga and, as mentioned, coached 15 years in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams way back in 1998. And, oh, by the way, was a quarterback not too far away back in the 50s for San Jose State. That's a wrap here, guys. We'll send it back to you.
I love it. We learned things.
Yeah.
Thank you. Coming up, we're going to talk with the head of the Japantown Community Congress of San Jose as the community is really focusing on preserving its past, but also drawing more people to the area and really looking to its future. So stay with us here as we continue our Fox Local Zip trip to San Jose's Japantown.
Welcome back to Zip Trips in San Jose, Japantown. Relatively compact area between North 1st Street and 7th Street. A lot packed into this area with the main commercial area around Jackson Street. A lot of traditional Japanese restaurants. We also have unique shops and cultural attractions here as well. Welcome back to Mornings at 2. Andre Sr. along with Gase Michaelian.
And it's important to note that Japantown, it's a living, breathing community.
Yeah.
People live here. People work here. They go to school here. I cannot tell you the number of people pushing strollers, people walking dogs, toddlers on bikes. It's a vibrant community. So
awesome.
it's looking to the future, but it's also honoring its past. One of the people doing that, we welcome Pam Yoshida. You're the head of the Japantown Community Congress of San Jose. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for coming down and inviting us.
Of course. When people say, oh, I haven't been to San Jose's Japantown, what do you tell them to get them here?
Well, we tell them it's one of the last 3 Japantowns in the United States. Before World War II, there were over 40 just in California alone, as well as other cities in the United States. So we are one of the last 3 thriving Japantowns, all in California. The others are San Francisco, San Jose, of course, and Los Angeles.
All right, so one of the things that your organization does is trying to preserve this cultural community here. Talk a little bit about how you do that.
Well, we're a fairly new organization. We were developed in the early 2000s, and our mission at that time was to create landmarks in Japantown. So when you come down to Japantown, there are a series of landmarks. There are granite benches, which are historical. The locations designate a specific time and place, not necessarily a history of the building, but just enough to give you the flavor of what Japantown was like. And then we also have a series of resting spaces, strategically placed throughout Japantown. And on the corner of 5th and Jackson, we have 3 very significant monuments. One's we call the Wall of Values, which is a tribute to the first and second generation Japanese Americans that first immigrated to the United States.
Wow.
If you could look out, let's just say 50 years, what do you hope this community looks like then, looks and feels like?
Well, I kind of hope that it would remain the same in the sense of retail, in the sense of a retail mix, organization mix. It has changed over the years in terms of evolving neighborhoods, surrounding the area. But I think, that vibe is a good one, with the mix of neighborhood and retail and nonprofit organizations.
What I like about these shows is I like to have the folks who are deeply involved in the communities talk to the audience about why they should come and visit here. And what would you say to people who are watching this right now?
I would say, just come down and spend some time. Weekends are great. We have a lot of festivals in Japantown throughout the year, so those are just great times to visit. But overall, just the overall vibe of the Japantown area. It's a working community. We all work together. We all work hard to make it nice and tidy and clean. With our bench program, we engaged with the local Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts to clean it about twice a year because they get a lot of usage. As far as people wanting to just sit and eat and hang out.
Good.
And the reason for having the children involved is because they read the inscriptions. They'll tell their parents and families and friends about what occurred at that place and time.
Yeah. Pam, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
You're doing some great work in preserving this area.
Thank
It's
you.
a beautiful community for sure.
Great. Thank you.
All right, let's take things over to Sal now. He has got our taste of the town. He's got all the good stuff, all the good food here in Japantown. If you want to know about Japantown food, Sal is your man. Well, because he tried it all. Hey, Sal.
Hey, good morning to you both. Garcia said it. This is a humble but powerful little area of San Jose, and there are plenty of good places to eat. And I came down here and worked my way through. Let's see what we can see with Taste of the Town, Japantown.
San Jose's historic Japantown is one of the last 3 authentic Japantowns left in the United States. Many small restaurants offer Japanese cuisine in a charming area near City Hall. The oldest Japanese restaurant here is Minato, which opened in 1961. Minato's is known for good food, generous portions, and reasonable prices. The restaurant has a big following.
Mostly regulars, I'd say 80%. This is our 25th year since we took over.
This place hasn't changed much. Owner Gene Yoneda and his wife Joanne like it that way. Minato's old school style was featured on the late celebrity chef Anthony Bourdain's TV show, Parts Unknown. Gene brought me a few of the most popular dishes.
This is the tempura appetizer.
This is delicious. If you like sashimi, you should try the hamachi, albacore, and ahi tuna.
So fresh. Right? This is the only way you want to eat raw fish.
It shouldn't smell like anything except the ocean.
My favorite was the Minato's roll.
We invented this back in 2000, which is this tuna, and it has, I think we invented spicy mayo too, because we just combined those two.
I like the chicken gyoza and the bento box, which were less than $20. Down the street, I wandered into Kazoo, a restaurant on Jackson Street. This place specializes in sushi. The sushi chefs carefully make the rolls to look like works of art. At Kazoo, you can order enough sushi to fill a boat, literally. This wooden boat arrives at your table filled with sushi.
That's a hanabi. This is a spicy roll, and I really recommend this hanabi. It's one of the most favorite.
The people here are so friendly, they will gladly help you assemble your own sushi boat. Japantown isn't limited to Japanese food. Omogari is a popular Korean restaurant. This restaurant turns out beautiful dishes which are as tasty as they are visually pleasing. Chef Peter Yi presented some of the expertly fermented kimchi before the main dish arrived. I was lucky enough to have the chef sit down with me and teach me how to drink a soju bomb, a drink that is very popular at Korean restaurants. That's awesome! But perhaps the best thing here is the flaming chicken dish, something the restaurant is known for.
We don't really want to burn it, we just want to melt it as possible, but we want to give a little bit of char.
I would definitely get this again. Omogari is very popular with the locals, and it's easier to get a table at lunch than it is at dinner. Finally, for dessert, you might want something sweet and thoroughly Japanese. For that, you want to hit the Shuedo Manju shop just down the block. This traditional Japanese confectionery makes manju and mochi the old-fashioned way, and it's one of the last places in the Bay Area to do so.
A lot of the shops in the Bay Area closed, so they either get it from the grocery stores, which is shipped either from Los Angeles or Japan, and it comes frozen. So ours is made every day fresh.
Manju is made with wheat flour, and mochi is made with rice flour. The mochi is by far the most popular. We got to watch husband and wife owners Tom and Judy Kumamaru making these traditional Japanese confections in the hot kitchen in the back. Stuff made here arrives here in the front the very same day. And boy, can you taste the difference between what this shop puts out and the store-bought mass-produced stuff.
You did good, my friend.
Thank you.
The shop is only open Thursday through Sunday.
And I always say that by far is not an exhaustive list. There are so many good restaurants here, Japanese and otherwise. There are even good Mexican restaurants, believe it or not, here in Japantown. So if you come to Japantown and you're hungry, Andre and Garcia, you will not leave disappointed.
I bet. I mean, thank you so much, Sal. I don't know that he finished that sushi boat. That was hopefully that's a family's worth.
Yeah, that is. That's a family.
But it's one of those like almost too pretty to eat, but also delicious. So let's eat it.
So you have to eat it. Yeah,
okay.
You almost have to. You can't. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to focus on some of the history here in Japantown. You're going to meet one of the heads of the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. It's an organization that has been doing such good work and is deeply committed to preserving the Japanese American history for more than a century here in this neighborhood and well beyond. So we'll get to check in with Ali Rasmus. She is at the museum.
Yep.
Also, we love a good road trip. Today it took 880 almost all the way down to this, almost all the way down to the South Bay. If you love a good road trip, and I know you do, we would love to see your pictures from you. If you're heading out and you have a favorite road trip from the past you'd like to sort of think back and love all over, send us those pictures and videos. We would love to share them during our newscasts and zip trips. Thank you to Pearl from Pinole. She sent us this picture on the way to LA, stopping in Los Olivos in the Santa Barbara wine country. Such a gorgeous drive. Maybe from here, if we left San Jose, we'd be in Santa Barbara County, like 3.5, 4 hours. I think we could do it. We'll be right back, though.
Japanese Americans have a long history in the United States helping build this country, and that is preserved here. Ali Rasmus is back with us to show us how that is happening. Good morning to you, Ali.
Good morning, Andre. Yeah, we are at the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. Last time around, we showed you one of the exhibits, which was a replica of the types of barracks that Japanese Americans had to live in during World War II, a dark chapter in U.S. and California history. But the museum also has some other outdoor exhibits. The history of Japanese Americans in Santa Clara Valley goes back decades before World War II. You're looking at some of the turn-of-the-century farming equipment that was used here. And so a separate part of the museum, kind of outdoors, showcases some of that. I want to introduce Vanessa Hatakiyama. She is the Executive Director of the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. Thanks for being with us. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this is actually sort of a replica of what it would be like to be in a typical Japanese American farmhouse of the day. So, you know, as you mentioned, farming was a huge part of what brought people to the Santa Clara Valley, which, you know, back in the day, for some of your viewers might remember, was called the Valley of Heart's Delight before it was Silicon Valley.
It's full of orchards and agriculture.
Oh, absolutely. It's hard to imagine now. But San Jose Japantown was really right on the edge of where sort of the city of San Jose ended, and after that it was all agricultural and farmland. So farming was a huge part of what drew the Japanese Americans here to settle, and they really built up the landscape of Santa Clara Valley with the orchards, with the strawberry fields.
Why is it important for people to see this and come through and walk through these exhibits to learn about this part of the history?
You know, it's really important, especially now that so much of that farmland history, that agricultural history has kind of been erased and given way to housing and other developments, that we remember where our roots are. And so many people, so many immigrant groups came to this country, came to California, specifically drawn by agriculture and looking for new opportunities and a better life for their children. And so establishing roots here was part of that. And even though many of them as immigrants were not allowed to buy land at that time due to some of the legislation, they often bought land in the name of their infant children. And that's how deeply they wanted to establish their roots here and really made it what it is today.
There are parallels with back then and agriculture, issues of immigration and civil liberties, what it means to be American. The museum says as part of its goal, it's to facilitate discussions and reflections on that.
Yeah, absolutely. As we come into a time when we're facing even higher levels of erasure and pressure, and these conversations are even more important. And it's important that we have a physical space that we have created within our community with our own voices to speak about our stories, our experiences, our history, so that, one, we don't forget our roots, forget who we are, but also so that this doesn't happen to other people as we see it's happening. And so this is a physical space where people can gather and have those conversations.
And let's talk about keeping that history alive and the mission and the goal of your museum. This is a nonprofit organization. Tell us about your fundraiser that you have coming up.
Yes. So every summer we have our annual summer sake tasting fundraiser right here at the museum. It is such a fun event. We activate some of our local vendors to source all of the food in small bites for people to enjoy, and we have an evening of sake tasting right here at Jams. We have, I think, 5 to 6 local sake vendors that you can sample from. And it's just a really fun and festive way to engage and raise funds at the same time.
Yeah, so history has some dark chapters, but looking forward, the goal here is also highlighting the culture and looking towards the future. So
yes, absolutely, because, you know, an important part of resistance and activism is also celebrating our cultural joy and also coming together as a community in celebration as well. So while we do want to remember and, you know, teach about the dark moments, we also want to celebrate everything that we've accomplished and the strength of our community.
Vanessa Hatakiyama, Executive Director of the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. Incredible place where we've spent the morning. I've learned a lot. Hope you have too. You should definitely come and check this museum out. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Ali Rasmus, we also learned right along with you. Thank you so much for your reporting there. When we talk about Japantown, we've talked about the food, we've talked about the art, we've talked about the community and the culture. Now let's talk about the music. I know most of you, when you think of taiko drumming, it's the really rhythmic drumming, drumming in community, but it really goes beyond just the sound into a feeling. It is deeply intertwined in Japanese culture, spirituality, community. Our Frank Malakote is standing by. We're actually going to hear some taiko drumming and see it as well, right, Frank?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Let me tell you, I've got, this is Jeff Noon and Utica Chiba. They're both part of the artistic staff with San Jose Taiko, and they're professionals. This is their full-time job. And Utica, well, let's start with you. Give us a little primer on what Taiko is.
So Taiko, it literally means big drum, and it is a Japanese art form of taiko drumming. So basically, the type of taiko that we do is a North American style of taiko.
Okay, and taiko hasn't been around forever, right? 1950s?
Yeah, so taiko in the way that we perform it now, which is called kumidaiko or ensemble drumming, is an art form that only started in the early 1950s in Japan.
Okay, and this San Jose Taiko's been around for over 50 years now.
Yeah,
right?
so our group was founded in 1973, so we were the third taiko group to start in North America.
And these are professional, full-time taiko drummers. I'm going to step out for a 30-second. Give us a little primer. Go ahead, guys. Oh my God, that was great. You guys get a workout doing this, don't you?
Yeah, it's quite a workout. We do have to train to play this.
And you're getting an applause from folks here in Japantown. Well, tell us when your next gig is. And you guys travel all over the world, don't you?
Yeah, so we do travel quite a bit, a couple times a year. Usually we travel the United States. We've traveled internationally. But our next big performance is actually in a few weeks, right down the street here in San Jose, Japantown, for the San Jose Obon Festival. It's happening the weekend of July 12th and 13th. It's a big festival, the biggest of its kind in North America. There's tons of taiko performances, not just us, but we invite some collegiate taiko groups from around the country to come share their energy with the Japantown crowd as well.
And Utica, real quick, if people want to get in touch, where do they go?
So easiest thing is probably to go to our website, which is just taiko.org. And taiko is spelled T-A-I-K-O. Or Google San Jose Taiko.
Keep playing. We're going to say goodbye. Thank you very much. And we'll listen for another few seconds before we throw it back to the desk.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Nice work. It sounds so beautiful, and I love the fact that people here gave them applause after they do the drumming here, so you know that is some good stuff there. All right, we have much more. We couldn't fit all of this into just 1 hour, so we're going to have much more coming up after this, and then please stick around for Take Two on the Fox local app and KTVU.com. We're going to have more guests that are going to be coming by, and we're going to be chatting with them about our trip here to San Jose's Japantown. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll have much more coming up right after this. Stick around. Welcome back to our zip trips to San Jose's Japantown. I'm Andre Sr., Gassi Michaelian. You got Frank, Allie, and all, you've got them all here. Right. Sal, Frank, Allie, they're all over the area. And I just love the history of this place. And one interesting fact I found here before we get to Sal is it's the first American educated Japanese doctor opened an office here in this area way back in the day. So there is a lot of history here. You come here. You get a little bit of everything for now. You get your coffee shops, your gift shops, and the cultural history that goes along with it as well, which I think is very important to recognize, especially at this time.
It's interesting. Japantown started as a community for mostly bachelor farmers.
Yep.
Many people came here for the agriculture industry. I mean, you see, condos and homes and buildings, right? But they do have an amazing farmers market. That's on Sunday.
Yeah.
So there's so much to discover and to love about San Jose's Japantown. We were so happy to kind of bring the whole family out. And kind of all over this neighborhood. You're talking about the farmers market. Tamiko Raz said that she's had people come up to the farmers market from out of town to come to it. So, that's how popular it is. If you're thinking, okay, is this... I travel for a good farmers market.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Gassia, you might see Gassia there one of these days.
For sure.
But people travel from all over to come and take part in that fresh produce and strawberry season.
Yep, strawberry
season. Nothing like the smell of fresh strawberries from a farmer's market. All right, let's get back out to our crew who's been covering this beautiful community all morning long. We got Frank out there with the taiko drummers. We've got Allie at the museum. We're going to start with Sal. Sal, wrap up things for us here. You've been coming down here doing stories on this place for the past couple of weeks. Tell us your last few words about it.
Andre and Gassia, I think that if you want to eat well here in this neighborhood, just come to the corner of 6th and Jackson. So 6th and Jackson, right over my shoulder here. That restaurant with the boats, Kazoo, is right over there. Yeah. And traffic is going to be light on a Friday, but it's not so hard to come down here and find a good restaurant. There's also the mochi shop, which I really liked. I've never tasted mochi like that. You can buy it, I guess, frozen or in boxes at the supermarket. But really, if you want to come down and have the authentic food, Andre and Gassia, you can come to Japantown and have the real deal. You can really taste the difference in the food here.
All right, Sal. Well, speaking about walking through history, that's what you can also do here at the Japanese American Museum of San Jose. That's where we've spent the morning. One of the great things about this place is that they have walk-through exhibits. So brings history to life, and one of them we showed you earlier was a replica of the types of barracks that Japanese Americans had to live in, were forced to live in during World War II. But in a separate part of the museum, they have a replica of a Japanese American farmhouse from the turn of the century, like not this past century, but the one before it, early 1900s, showing some of the farming equipment and really some historic photos of what this whole area looked like, Santa Clara Valley, full of orchards and farms before it became part of Silicon Valley today. So a fascinating place to come check out. I encourage people to come check it out. They're open from noon to 4 every Thursday through Sunday. They also have a sake fundraiser happening later this summer. So a lot to come and experience and learn out here. Let's send it over to Frank, though, to wrap things up with the drummers.
All right, Allie, we got the taiko drummers. I've got Utica and Jeff here, and they've asked me to join them. So when in Japantown, let her go, guys. Oh.
Frank is a brave man. Between two seasoned performers and artists, he's got the rhythm. All right, you keep going, Frank. I love the sound. I love the feel of the taiko drums. Wow, what an amazing hour. And we have a whole half hour coming up on Take Two. We'll mention if you're taking a summer road trip, send us your photos and videos so we can share them here on the air during our next Fox Local Zip Trip. There's the QR code to scan and show us where you're going.
And remember to join us for our next Zip Trip, July 4th, 2 weeks from now in Pleasant Hill. Thank you so much for joining us. Stick around for a post show on Fox Local and KTVU.com.